Yo, what's up? This is Splendid Radio on Farside TV with my co-host Jeremy Scippio.
Going on, people?
He out there in them urban streets, you know what
Man, hey, reporting live from Compton, man.
I'm saying?
Reporting live.
Yeah,
Man.
you know what I'm saying? You might see or hear a little bit of anything, man.
Man, I heard somebody coming. I bumped some Kendrick Lamar just to keep myself safe, and they was like, "Oh, okay, he one of us."
So, uh, man, a lot's been going on. We gonna hop into it. So, uh, I know you in the mix of it, so I'm not gonna throw you in the middle of it, but the two different perspectives that I've been peeping. Uh, Ryan Davis, comedian,
Yeah.
internet sensation. That I would say his reactions took off before his comedy took off. Was he doing comedy before reactions?
Yeah. Yeah. I would say that.
Okay, okay, all right. Then I'll just say that I became familiar with him through through his reactions.
Yeah, reactions, but I mean, he's a legitimate stand up as well. Like I don't
Credit, but he actually does.
Yeah. So of course, you know, uh, elephant in the room. Well, I mean, people that's not following, they ain't following. But your boy Faison pops up and pops out, you know, and he kind of telling Ryan Davis what he should, what he shouldn't, and kind of how he should. Where so basically, Faison was kind of like Ryan is. This is what I read out of it. Not being a comedian, me just purely being a spectator. Ryan is spoiled. He feel like the world is supposed to dance around him. Regardless of him spending $150,000 on his own special, shooting it, producing it, and all that, uh, Ryan shouldn't be hopping on the internet to cry about it. That's one thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna turn it over to you, but
Yeah.
for me not being in the industry, I kind of saw it as uh Faison was approaching it from uh a very analog, non-digital conforming way of looking at the situation, where Ryan is using all the tools that are available to him to kind of get his point across. I mean, how do you feel about that?
Yeah. So, I think Ryan Davis and Faison Love should take a DNA test to
Ah,
make sure that they're not. I mean, if they not father and son, they gotta be like brothers or something. Like Faison Love is like the ghost of Christmas past for Ryan Davis, but whatever. Um, yeah. So Ryan Davis, I have to give him credit for being a doer. You know, he's doing it. He's in the meetings. He knows the conversations. I definitely feel like I don't know. He's expressing a lot of inside baseball that I would say to me wouldn't be the smartest to do per se, but at the same time, if this special does well and his next special is on Netflix, then I can't say he's doing the wrong thing. By expressing himself. Because we're kind of in the culture where the crybabies do get what they're asking for. You got to think about it, and not to bring his name up too much, but I remember in 2016? I think it was 2012 actually. Kanye was crying about um like Ralph Lauren and all these big fashion people not taking them seriously, and then like just a few years later, he's in the mix with all these big people. You know what I'm saying? So and he was saying his biggest complaint is they just looked at him as just a rapper, you know. But Kanye, is made his way to the top of fashion. I'm not trying to open this can of words. I'm just using him as an example.
yeah.
So when he comes to Ryan Davis, we'll see what this opens up. Even Dave Chappelle is a great example, which that's the example that Faison Love used, where he was saying how he would like his deal to be, and the way Comedy Central was treating him, and then he got what he asked for, which in a way was kind of weird because it went around the contract and went around the law. So, and we're kind of a culture where crybabies kind of get what they're asking for in a weird way.
Dang.
So I'm not, just keeping it real, you know what I mean? But Faison, to me, he is famous for being a comedic actor, not a stand-up. And when he speaks on stand-ups, it doesn't feel pure. Now, I know he is a stand-up comedian. I respect him in the sense of I know, he's been through the same streets I've been. Yeah, but he hasn't made his money. He hasn't, like, no one. He's not anybody's top stand-up for anything. Top 10, top 20, top 100. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just don't. So when he speaks on these things, he's speaking on Cat Williams, speaking on Dave Chappelle, it's good enough to just ignore. Like, no offense. But Ryan Davis, like I said, I don't agree 100% the way he's moving, but at the same time, he's moving the way you should when you are from the ground up, grassroots, when you got the money to spend on the things and all that. I just think, to me, everything's negotiation. Everything, all of it. Like with the Monique situation, right? Monique was like, "Hey, I want a Netflix special." Netflix said, "You don't have enough." I forgot what the criteria, but whatever the criteria was, she actually beat the criteria, and they still didn't give her anything. So that's why she went to court, and legally they found out that that Netflix was being discriminatory, and that's what got her the special at the end of the day. I know we're used to the hoopla and the complaining and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, she was able to prove that Netflix was being discriminatory against her. So I kind of side with that thing of that's still part of negotiation. People want to get offended, and trust me, I would like to get offended. I got some of these people's numbers, and I know Netflix. I did a Netflix festival. I have a Netflix special, but and I learned this from you. If they don't bring up your mama name or talk about your kids or your family, then it's not personal. Yeah. So Ryan Davis, keep fighting the fight. I just, like I said, I just wish he would keep it like, because I feel like when you bring the behind the scenes conversation to the front, it makes it seem inauthentic when you get it. You know what I'm saying? If he put out independent special, and boom, Netflix, people are like, yeah, he deserved that. Versus if it goes independent special, and like, they won't give it to me. It look like the crying got you the special versus the hard work. So that's just my take on it. I mean, it's all open air. He's clearly super successful. Oh, and one more thing. I think that he just be sounding desperate to be a part of the elite. Like
wanting to be accepted.
Let the people say you top 5, top 10. Whenever you say it, it's slightly inorganic. And I say this with all respect due to Ryan Davis. I've shot a podcast in his house before. So, respect to the man. But yeah, I just think that people got to nominate you. You can't nominate yourself. That's all.
Yeah, no, that's very interesting. I know a musician, but it's so funny how things can go either way. Like I know a musician who I refer to him in closed doors behind the scenes because a lot of people worship him, but he's a self-proclaimed genius. And he basically it's like he told enough people that he was a genius to where there are some people that believe that he's a genius.
If people got to nominate you, man, like I get booked based upon other people. I can't, I mean, respect to everybody, but if I wasn't dope, I wouldn't get my shows. That's it. But if you can manipulate the masses, then that's great. I don't have that power, so respect.
Magazine dreams.
Magazine dreams. So I saw the movie last week. Did you watch it?
No.
So this movie was shot in 2003, and the movie got delayed because of the Jonathan Majors situation. If you don't know, Jonathan Majors, he's a Hollywood actor who was in Creed 3 and Ant-Man as Kang the Conqueror. And right when the Kang Conqueror, Ant-Man 3 came out, he got caught up in this controversy where he assaulted his then girlfriend, but soon to be ex-girlfriend. And, he went to court, was found guilty. That's the only reason why I'm able to say assaulted. And, he did his time, which was very minimal, and he did whatever he had to do. And now he's back in the good graces. So they put the movie out. I'm going to give my very limited review, and I want to hear your thoughts on, like, what do you feel like this means for him? Because Jonathan Majors, when I watch this movie, I feel like, and I ain't gonna lie, it's gonna sound like I'm trolling, but I feel like, you know how 8 Mile was for Eminem, like it was semi-biographical, and was it Get Rich or Die Trying was semi-biographical for 50 Cent. This is his 8 Mile. This is his Get Rich or Die Trying, and can't nobody convince me it's not. But basically, he enters these bodybuilding competitions, and he wants to be like, a big professional bodybuilder. There are some things that I predicted that was going to happen in the movie that I was hoping that didn't happen, and yes, it did. But to keep it very simple, it's Oscar bait. Mm-hmm. Now, for the movie to go from being a 2023 release to a 2025 release, I don't know how the nominations work, but do you feel like this will be a good chance for him to get back into the masses, or do you feel like it's too little too late?
I feel like we're in a climate right now, culturally, where people will do whatever they got to do to push something across the finish line. And apparently, if your mind was able to deduct that this could be Oscar bait and whatever, some people that are paid a lot more money than you and I'm sure had dinners and meetings in a room with a whiteboard and an eraser, and they said, you know what, this could be it. This could be the thing to, humanize you and to, kind of get you to where you should be. But it's so funny because I was speaking to Mike Ram 2 weeks ago because he's a super. So he's in the comics from the standpoint of someone that really looked at comic books still looks at comic books and all that kind of thing. I'm kind of like a faux when it comes to being like a fanatic for sci-fi and stuff like that. I consider myself kind of like a faux follower where like I haven't read a comic book, but I like the TV versions of stuff. But one of the reasons I probably like them is because I don't know the storylines that are attached to the comic books, where that's where people like to argue me. You know what I'm saying? They're like, but it's not like they're like, it's not like this and it's not like that. And I'm like, well, man, I didn't know about that. What I know about is when Marvel Studios got a hold of it and they got the CGI and woo woo woo, or when Disney merged with Star Wars and they have all these different things coming out and whatever, and they have the Disney technology along with the Star Wars brand. Like I can appreciate that, but I feel like Jonathan Majors acting on its own merit. I loved him in Lovecraft. I felt like, man, Lovecraft was it. And then when I saw in Loki, the Kang the Conqueror role, where like he flipped the script on that dude. Like the character was one character, then he flipped into another character, then he flipped into a diabolical version, and all that. I felt like even with what happened to him, he shouldn't have been ostracized the way he was. But before we had this president that has everybody aging like dog years, you know what I'm saying? He did have, even though that girl ran after him, there was enough to make it seem like he did something to her. What? I can't say, but it was enough.
It came out that, and this is probably what made him, made him lose the case overall, that he acknowledged that he strangled her at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So does that change your mind? Like, do you feel like he has a promising career, or do you feel like it's too little, too late?
Talented actor, but he's not going to pop off into the powers that be want him to pop off. Do I think that he's capable of popping off, and that there is something that he can do, some type of coffer he can pay to be back in the scene? Yeah, I think it'll happen, but I think that it's probably not as easy as what he thought or what he's thinking. And I don't feel that this movie is going to be enough. It's just too soon, and not to jump around, but your boy Will Smith and this album he got cracking right now.
You listen to it?
Huh?
Huh?
No, I didn't listen to it. I saw. I'm gonna tell you why. When I saw the Doechii thing, and then him dancing around and just all the things that he's trying to do to promote it,
yes,
turned me right off, man.
Yes,
it felt like, come on, dude, you're an older dude, you're going too hard, you're trying to, and this is the thing that I will say. I don't believe he's capable of freestyle. Anything.
Yeah, no, that's written. That's not even.
Yeah.
But yeah, even then, I think you have to get the sentiments of where you are outside of whatever your ghostwriter is trying to get you to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
But yeah, no, but Will Smith, man, oh man, it was just too much, man. It was just too much. I'm just like, man, this dude is trying to do everything, man. He really trying to do everything. He using his daughter, he's using Doechii, he's using everything to sell this except for something that's solid.
Yeah. Well, that I don't know if it's not just him. I think it's overall, like, people will sell an album without a hit single. Like, are those days over? Like,
yes.
Yes. Because for me, it's like the song, the lead single should be the thing that you go, okay, now we're launching. I feel like back in the day, record labels wouldn't even let you drop an album if you didn't have like a street single or something buzzing.
Dude, let me tell you something. I watched people come. Dude, I've seen albums have 6 singles. And then and because the record label had invested so much money into the artist and they had relationships, then you start doing remixes. Like you do everything you can to get the situation to pop. But I think that Will Smith is an example that it doesn't matter how much money you have. If you can't connect with the people, man, you're just doing something.
Well, I did I put a comment out there today that's doing really well. It's at 2,000 likes right now. But I said, I said, Will Smith is rapping like his therapist told him to do it for a coping mechanism. Huh. And yeah, I mean, age is that thing that we can't fully fight. You could try to fight, but at the end of the day, it's gonna get you. It's gonna win at the end of the day. Father Time is undefeated. But I say, like, you need to have some ears or somebody around you to just tell you like, and I don't, I know this is the opposite of like progressive, like, you know, get it done type stuff, but you need somebody to tell you like, nah, somebody in your inner circle, not somebody who's doing it professionally. Because by the time it gets to us, then you fucked up. But it should be like somebody be like, nah, go back in on that, like rework that. Especially when I say like him, Dr. Dre, there's a couple others that made like more current projects. Because there's current artists and there's artists who, even if they put something out, they're still like throwback artists. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You have to be in tune with what's going on. I'm not going to say the kids, because the kids, I'm convinced kids don't pay phone bills, so I don't give them that much power. They're on the internet, but you know, grown ass people is controlling stuff now. I mean, that's the reason why we got a lot of these big artists able to do concerts. These old school artists able to do big concerts because I think it's older people on it on social media now. But if Will Smith, I don't think he's far from it. He just had to. Maybe this was his formula for ghostwriting in the past. But he had to have somebody like, hey, throw your old ad libs into this. Don't do new ad libs. Don't go, ah, ah. I'm like, what? Will Smith doesn't grunt. You know what I'm saying? Not parents don't understand. You
Hey,
know,
when he brought up when he said keep my wife's name out of your mouth, I was just like, oh.
yeah, he. Look, I'm not gonna tell somebody who's super successful what to do, but I'll just say this ain't it, and that's okay. That's okay. But this ain't it. You know. Hey, I felt weird about Switch, and that was 20 years ago. Switch, turn it over, turn
Oh,
it. But
oh
yeah,
man. So tell me this, man. Is wealth, status, or vanity the new god?
wealth, status, or vanity. Is that like you have to choose?
Nah,
Like,
it's not. It's not. Are any of them the new god? It seems because you know I have these conversations with myself in the morning when I'm kind of drinking my tea and trying to arrange my thought process for the day, and it just seems like people worship stuff. Like They don't worship. They don't. It's like they don't worship spirituality. They don't worship things that are non-tangible. It just seems like religion is based on tangible things, in my
true.
opinion.
No, true. This is true. Um, I mean, so all of them are I guess gods in their own right. I'd say I would say status probably trumps wealth and vanity because vanity can go too far. Vanity is, if I had to personify, would be Lil Kim, who was fine the way she was, but she felt
Fine.
victim. She fell victim to the vanity god. And if we want a modern day example, I would say SZA should probably stop while she's ahead
Oh man,
because she doesn't look like she used to, and she
she
looks
was a
great.
beautiful girl.
She was a beautiful girl. Right now, she looks okay, but you can, no matter what she does, you go, that girl had work. If she stopped now, she'd be fine. If she keep going, she's gonna be Lil Kim in no time. And with a wealth, we reached the day and age where we get to see the Elon Musk. We get to see certain people who are wealthy beyond any man's desire and still are lame. So status and how you obtain status is a whole different conversation. But status trumps those in the sense of like people will pay for status or they'll cut themselves open for status. But status is a variable that's it's a sliding scale. So if I had to choose which is the biggest god, I'd say status would be.
Elon Musk is who I was envisioning when I had this conversation with myself, and I was thinking, because I talk to Trumpers and they'll tell me, but he's a brilliant guy. And they'll say he's brilliant. They'll say that he's, you know, he has to be doing something right and all this, that, and the other. But then I pose another question to him. I say, well, would you say that the colonizers were brilliant people, or like what, like the thing that they don't talk about, and I'm not gonna go deep into this, but the conversation that's never had. So my dad is a history, kind of like a history buff, and he listens to like the men that made America, like the stories of these people who came over here, and the story that they tell us are these peasants from Europe came to America and they did all these incredible things and were able to fight the odds and turn
Mm-hmm.
everything great. But I have to tell my dad, I hate to burst your balloon. They're not going to tell you whose money came from slave money, who stole people's ideas, black or white, that weren't smart enough or didn't have the resources enough to hold on to whatever their intellectual property was. And you just get this story of, somebody that just was down on hard lucks and all this, similar. And I'm not going to pile on or beat up on him, but they had a guy who was talking about Elvis, and he was basically like, Elvis was a dude who used to hang around the black folks. He was white, but he used to hang around the black folks, and he took their art form and he made it so that it could be accepted by commercial society. We'll say that. And I'm just kind of like, man, people would say like Elvis was the greatest dude in the world, but to me, he was a white dude gyrating and then singing in what would have been Ebonics at the time.
Yeah, I seen this Ray Charles interview, and I think it's like so hilarious because when he's at the age too, because like when people get a certain age, they just don't know nothing but the truth. And somebody brought up Elvis, and he went to looking around. He blind. He talking about something now. I don't want to say nothing mean now. And it was like, well, what's going on? He was like, he copied off of the black youth, and he was the copy. He's a mighty fine guy, but he copied. And this is a blind man talking as if he's seeing.
Yeah.
But he understands what it is. You're absolutely right. Now, Elon Musk, and this is to me how God works. God always gives us a blind spot, and that's how I know we all need each other. We all need community, especially Black people. I think that's what we miss out on the most because we don't. We are told we're so protective, and we're like, "Yo, this is mine, get out." But you need somebody to point out your blind spots, even if it hurts, because even with Elon Musk, a man who technically has everything, he craves that status because CEOs of that nature, he's the CEO of CEOs. Like, like him, Jeff Bezos, like, to shut the fuck up. That's how CEOship works because your mouth is what costs you when you're that high up. American Gangster, Frank Lucas, he said, he said Blue Magic. He said it's like Pepsi, it's a brand name. Like, they know that, even if they don't know me. They're not supposed to know me, just like you don't know the chairman of General Mills. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you know the CEO, that you're already fucking up. And that's also how a lot of these corporate entities were able to take advantage of Black culture, is because we gave all the credit to the entity. You know what I'm saying? But once you start pointing to the person, and the old school white people know to be quiet. They know. But we got these new ones who not only do they want to be the richest man on the world, they want to be the loudest. You're going to lose your money. And that's just a fact. That has nothing to do with me, race, or anything. Like if you got more shit, I think it's a Chris Rock bit. If you got more shit, you get to say less shit. If you got less shit, you get to rebel openly. Kind of, I guess this is kind of going back to the Ryan Davis conversation in a way. Like Ryan Davis, you got some shit, so you probably shouldn't be snitching on. You know what I mean? This is like a
If
millionaire to a
he's,
millionaire deal. You go
you
ahead.
know, I was looking at it like, man, how many people really have $150,000 to invest in themselves? Like that is definitely a privilege, of some type of privilege. I won't be one to say what type of privilege, but to take $150,000 and invest it in yourself, that's quite a feat.
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of like you can't cry and have privilege. You know what I mean? I think that's where we're how do you tie all these conversations up? You can't be like, oh, America isn't fair. It needs to change, and it's like you are the richest man in America. Like you bought the election. Like shut the fuck up.
Hey, I'll tell you one thing he didn't buy. He didn't buy that judge seat in Wisconsin where he was giving out all that money.
But exactly, it's like that. So your question is a good reflection question that we all should ask ourselves. But really, it's for Elon Musk. It's like, what's more important to you? Because if that is the more important thing to you, then you should forget about the rest. Like, if looking the best is important to you, you can't worry about money or your status because you're gonna lose it. And I say if status is more important to you, then you can say F the money because look at Kanye. Kanye, I feel like Elon Musk submits his coolness to Kanye because Kanye's the king of cool, even if he's doing the wrong thing.
Real quick, I'm gonna give a
Uh,
shout out since you're in a vicarious way right about now. I'm gonna give a
yeah.
shout out to Ben Frank, holding it down, always
Ben
holding it down.
Frank, yes sir.
And
Ben Frank,
and and Ben Frank is gonna have a tracking number in his DM tomorrow, man. I promise I think about that about 2-3 times a week, but I'm gonna get him. It ain't no excuse, dude. Matter of fact, I'm gonna send him a Jeremy shirt too.
yeah, we should have Ben Frank on.
I really would appreciate his perspective.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Ben Frank, because I ain't gonna lie, we was talking about the Cardi album and y'all was lost, and he was the only one.
Nah, hey man, Ben is a factor, man. That's for real. Matter of fact, that will be the conversation I have with him tomorrow. I'm gonna
Yeah.
reach out. We got to at least have him tap in one time. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
Angie
Right.
Angie Stone.
Okay. So clearly Angie Stone passed. Her passing is a mystery because she was in a car accident. And there's more information unfolding about that. But briefly before her passing, she was fighting because she found there was more money that she was allotted for her records. You talk about like publishing rights, sampling, all that stuff. And a lot of stuff is confusing information if you're just a person who likes to make music because straight up, you got the ASCAP and you got BMI. If you don't know about it, you don't know, and that's important. That's a lot of people made money. A lot of '90s artists. The only reason I know about it is because a lot of '90s artists didn't make money. I would say 2000s artists, late 2000 artists got a little smarter, and artists now know. If you're an independent artist, that's the reason why you're independent is because you're not making money off your stuff. But Angie Stone found out was more money on it. She passed away. Tyler Perry, of all people, decided to come to her defense and said, I don't know, it was really weird when he got up there. He was like, this sister died fighting to get her money. He said, where's her money? Then
Yeah.
the Medea came out of him. Monique decided to
Ah, let
reignite the fire. That's like, hey, since you talk about people owe money and apology,
hey.
where's my money? Where's my apology? Yeah, I don't know where to go with all of this. It just feels like Black Family Reunion energy. What you thinking?
So for one, you did a great impression of Tyler Perry And it's so funny because when you said that, my mind and not I could do we can't read each other's minds, we can't think for other people, whatever. But when you the way that you said money while you were impersonating Tyler Perry or your impression of Tyler Perry, Monique's spirit jumped into my body and I felt a certain way. When you said money, I felt a certain way. And I know she felt a certain way. Like, so you gonna get up here at this woman's funeral that you done paid for. You done told people you done paid for the funeral, which like, man, you ain't if it's coming from the heart, nobody got it. Nobody got it, no, man. That's really not. That's
Right.
really not. And so
Right.
it's kind of like with Monique, he could have said the sky was blue. But him talking about money, I see how that cut her. And matter of fact, one of the things I was gonna say to you earlier, I kind of went over it, is that is urban culture the only culture that glorifies counterproductivity? You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like, for whatever reason, and I won't say black people because I feel that it's bigger than black people, but I feel like in urban culture, we let people know how we think. We let people know our personal business. We speak it like you were saying uh, with Ryan Davis earlier. You were kind of on the fence. Well, is this a conversation that's a backroom conversation that like should it have been brought to the light? You know what I'm saying? Where right. I just feel like as urban culture right now, and I'm not the spokesman of old urban culture. Please don't knock that. That's definitely what I'm not. But I feel like instead of people using what do you call it? Conflict resolution. Instead of people using conflict resolution skills, they're quick to take this generation or where we are culturally right now. And once again, culturally, not meaning black, white, Mexican, whatever, but just urban culture. If we don't get something our way, we're quick to try to do something to draw attention to us. And then hopefully we gain traction and we're able to pull ourselves out of the mud or just whatever. Where I just feel like there should just be a lot more conversations with people that can help, not conversations for sake of just having a conversation, but there should be conversations with people that can help about certain topics. But it's like put it this way, I could tell that it bothers you a little bit, Jeremy, as a comedian. Man, comedians need to have comedian talk sometimes, man. It don't need to be about like, we don't need to, it's almost like we don't need to see women without their wig on. You know what I'm saying? If beauty is what they're trying to, in the type of beauty that comes with a weave or a wig or whatever, like the people who, like, we don't need to see you with the bonnet. You know what I'm saying? We need to see you dressed to the nines and just whatever. But I feel that people have tried to use it as a cheat code. It's almost like I had a situation when I was in New York, and I was at a restaurant, and there was a waitress who wasn't paying attention to my party, and I took these web designers out to dinner. This was like 99, 2000. This is before people was even really making websites like that, and it was a big deal to me because I had got this creative team to work with me, and they were like, we're gonna do it on our off time, we're gonna make this our project, and woo woo woo. Long story short, the girl didn't help us. It came time for me to pay the check, and I paid the check, and I probably, for about 6 people, I probably left her about maybe a $20 or $30 tip. Mm-hmm. And so she went and took the check and went to the most pitiful looking person at the cowardly, pitiful, the weakest looking person at the table, and she takes the check and walks it up to him and like, all you guys are giving me is $30. I said, whoa. I said, I'm paying this check. Like, we came to this restaurant because I'm in New York for a couple of days, and I'm meeting with this team, And I was like, the bartender had to come and give us water because you were, tending to so many tables or whatever. So she goes and she tells her manager. So no, but Pete, Pete, she tells the manager. But Pete, this was a true lesson in me learning how cold this world is. So the manager sees that I'm getting kind of hot, so he pulls me away from everybody. And when he pulls me away from everybody, he says, "Well, she said you guys have been really loud, and just coming up. She made us the problem." Well, the manager happened to be bald headed, so in my childish ways, which I was probably about maybe 30 at the time or right under 30, I screamed Nazi at the top of my lungs because that was the only thing I could do. Because I felt like he pulled me away from everybody to discount my anger and how I was feeling and to make it whatever. So, long story short, the next day I called and asked to speak to the owner. And it was funny because the owner said, "I'm so sorry about this. Give me your address." It was a Cuban spot. He's like, "I'm going to send you some empanadas, da 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 da." And he said, "You know what? You're not the first person who's complained about those two. And I believe they see each other." And I was like, ah. So I say all that to say, in certain situations, I think getting loud and kind of going off and all that stuff is warranted. But where we are today, as far as professionals and as far as industries are concerned, I don't think it behooves anybody to bring the behind the door business out in front of people who don't really know that business.
Yeah, I think you gotta know how to move, and everybody moves differently. But to answer the question you posed, is it urban culture and thinking of it as black people that are counterproductive? I have to say no, like that use counterproduction as a means to move ahead. I have to say no because I think about how the mafia moves, you know what I mean, and how well they've been able to move off of counterculture or even now we're into anti-Semitic territory, but the constant bringing up of the Holocaust, or Hitler or Nazi stuff. And I'm like, man, I never experienced it outside of somebody telling me about it who keep bringing it up. You know what I mean? Just like, I guess they say black people with slavery, but there's so much money made off of these concepts, these ideas that, like, why not, but yeah, I think when it comes to, I think some people don't know what is behind the scenes versus what is, like you find out by crossing the line a lot of times. You find out like you find good business by, I mean, even accidentally. Like for example, even with me in my status, my current place, I found out how to raise my price through film production versus actual stand-up comedy. Mm-hmm. Once I realized you can negotiate, because it's kind of like what people will be like, why did you get paid? Why are they paying you that much, right? And then you go to the people like, yeah, why are you paying me that much? It's like, because you agreed to it. You go, wait, I agreed to it? That's independent contracting. That's the game of it. But you don't find out until because the very first job I got in film production, my car got towed. And I remember I was like, man, I really don't want to ask people for money. The homie was like, well, I know the job that's paying $250 a day. And I was like, where are they doing that at? So that's how I got in the game. I didn't realize all this is negotiable. All of it's negotiable. And if you're an independent business, independent contractor, you're supposed to be on top of that, and even like getting that price up or being fair across the board on like where the economy is, knowing if you give a favor that it's gonna come down, know what you're giving up. If you go, hey, this is my price, well, hey, that's your loss. So if somebody works for somebody else and if they develop a partnership, you lost that. All these things play. And if you act out, if you cry wolf, You know, because like you said, like you're a good businessman in the sense of like I don't know how you got contact with the owner, but the owner knew to call out that BS. But for a lot of black people, that negotiation would have stopped right there. Where if the manager is against you, then you're dead wrong. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like even me, I had to learn. Oh, there's other people. It's not about like you versus me or us versus each other. All that BS. At the end of the day, you're talking about a tip. A tip is extra additional.
Real quick, Jeremy. I'm
Yeah.
gonna give you a shot glass of context.
Yeah.
It angered me so much. I walked 12 New York blocks back to the hotel, and I was thinking about. I was so angry I couldn't even talk, man. I was watching the rats and smelling the stink of the New York streets. And dude, I couldn't even sleep. And I what do you call it? I obsessed over calling that restaurant at 10 o'clock that morning, hoping that I would catch the owner there, and he wasn't there. But I kept leaving messages, and he called me back. And when I got his ear, I said, "Man, I'm not a rich man. I don't like. I'm here in New York on a little bit of business. Your restaurant was highly recommended to me, and I said the way that I was treated, no one deserves to be treated that way."
Yeah, but that's the thing, and sadly, that's how people have to learn it. But you know, you're good at business, so you already know. But yeah, sadly, you know, people learn how to be better business people by messing up, and you know, maybe those people know. And also, that was then. Now people know better because if you man restaurants already know if you tell 12 people to fuck off, all you have to do is check Yelp, and you burnt. So it don't
That's
matter if you right, I'm right, you know, whatever. It's like, yo, I'd rather give you some empanadas than to get 12 bad Yelp reviews, because now ain't nobody coming to your restaurant. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And any woman of a certain status is gonna check them Yelp reviews. And if women ain't coming, men ain't coming. So there you go. But
Well,
anyway.
you know what? This was predating Yelp by many years, and I'm lucky that I got in touch with somebody that could feel my passion. You know, over the phone, man. Very fortunate. I'm gonna hit you with the last one, man. This is the elephant in the room.
Okay.
Ye in academics. He don't even deserve to be called Ye. Kanye West in academics. Was academics irresponsible
No. Why would he be irresponsible?
for continuing to carry on with Kanye in that interview with him wearing the gear he was sporting and talking the craziness he was talking?
Oh, this is my problem I have with that per se. So, because we're in an era where mediums are blurred. You know what I mean? Where film, TV, YouTube, and Instagram, all these things you get on the same device, just different apps. It's a medium at the end of the day. Like a lot of stuff don't even matter no more. Like two shows that were strictly YouTube content shows just shifted over to Netflix. How hard is it to see these two things in theaters? I'm talking about Kill Tony, which is like a show about open mic comedy,
Yeah.
and Pop the Balloon, which is a detriment to the black community as a whole. And these shows are now on Netflix. So if these shows can be, you know, put out there, and I'm not going to act like Kanye West does not have some mental health issues that need to be addressed directly with him. But when I see Kanye West put on a KKK uniform, a black KKK uniform, I hate to say it, but it literally puts everything he's saying, everything he's doing in the entertainment realm. I don't care what it is. It's so to say Kanye West can't put on a KK uniform and say fuck Jay-Z and, you know, fuck all these other people, to me, I would have to go, well, why are we allowed to watch Scarface murder people? Why are we allowed to watch Saw cut people in half? These are mediums, and I understand there's genre crossing in the mediums, but if you as an adult can accept Kanye West, I'm trying to blur, I'm trying to say the line. Like, if you can't accept Kanye West as a clown, then I would say, you know, you need to be a little more mature too, because there's no way, you're taking Kanye West seriously in 2025. Sorry, no way. He's done too much for you to go. This is a credible source of information.
I'll say this, man. One of the most amazing things I've seen him do this year was say he needed to go and check on Kodak Black.
I don't even know if he did it. He said he did, but I don't know if he
No, dude, let me tell you something. Kodak Black's people wasn't messing with no Kanye. He tried. I'm sure he tried. His people, dude, as dissorted as Kodak Black looks, there is a team behind him, and there is a method to the madness. There may be a lot of enabling going on with his situation, but there's a team. And dude, they wouldn't mess with Kanye.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I agree with you 100%.
Come on.
They're like, hey, we rather him be a strung out drug addict than be anti-Semitic.
Dude, you're talking about somebody who did a song with 6ix9ine for $1 million.
Yeah. Yeah. I even see somebody said it was like, who would have thought Chief Keef was handling adulthood better than Kanye West? But yeah, I back to the original question. Nah, man. Okay. Yeah, back to the original question. No, I think that Kanye West is an entertainment capital because you talk about religion, politics, sports, hip hop, porn. I mean, you know, literally, this nigga ran for president. So if you are blessed to have an interview with him and get your clicks and views up, let's not forget this is all about the parameter of that. And if I'm wrong, then hey, fire all these writers that come up with sensational topics, come up with verbiage that affect the current community and you know the economy, and then we're stuck using these words over and over and over, like woke and liberal and conservative. All that. So these are writers that put these words in and give it to our youth who don't know how to express themselves. Yeah, they don't know how to express themselves, so they use these words over and over and over, and they identify themselves with these terms as opposed to getting it from like the real world. Like I know there's certain words when people use these words, I'm like, oh, you're already gone. I'm not gonna sit here and try to explain to you that you've
my
been
MAGA dude.
Yeah.
I'm against DEI and I'm against the woke. Everybody's woke. You're not woke, you're asleep. You know what I'm saying?
Like what is define what these words mean? If you give a person a second to define a lot of these terms, they get lost. Or you sound crazy because you're like I'm against diversity, I'm against equity and inclusion. What are you talking about?
Dude, so, he got mad at me because I said, dude, I'm no longer gonna have this conversation with you. You're not educated enough for me to go back and forth with you on what I know versus what somebody told
you. Yeah. Even this is me being super petty right now, but Drake had a line on his on the, you know, Some Sexy Songs for You, where he said, if I'm gone, we're gonna have girls twerking in the club with dictionaries. And everybody was like, yeah, that's a good point. I'm like, or yes, and thesauruses and what are we talking about? We're talking about people who make money off of words on beats. So yes, people are gonna twerk 2 words in a dictionary. Yes, like you like in the words of Dame Dash, you sound smart to a dumb nigga. But to me, yes, nigga, you're speaking in syllables. You're speaking in baby girl. Like these are syllables that if a nigga had a book, that's the turn off. Get the fuck out of here, bro. We are, I don't even want to say brainwashed, it's just the conversation moves.
Dumbed down, man. We are dumbed down. We got too much red number, whatever the number is associated
Red
with the
number
red.
5, yeah.
Red number 5, too much sugar, too much
Yeah.
cornstarch, high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah, it's something I learned, dealing with women. That this is my cancellation point. Whenever you're losing a debate or a situation, you just move the conversation. And I noticed that in politics, I noticed that whenever it's just like they'll move the conversation as opposed to dealing with it as is. A couple weeks ago, you asked you. That's why when I couldn't really answer with a straight face when you said, "Do you feel like people are drinking the Kool-Aid?" I'm like, "Which cup? Which flavor?" It's so much
Man.
Kool-Aid out there that people feel like they're unnerving something because they're like, "Oh, I took the red pill." I'm like, "You watched The Matrix, a movie that came out in 1999. Like, you're not revolutionizing words or thoughts or processing information as it goes into you." I mean, we can go on and on about that, but just on a very general level, because the Kanye thing, I don't want to. I guess I can reveal this out loud. I actually did I talk about this already? I talked to him. I met Kanye. Well, I met him before, but this is the second time I met Ye. I guess it was about a month and a half ago.
Oh no, you talking about that.
I ain't talking about it. All right, this is a good one to end on. I'm gonna keep it brief. But basically, I went to I was at the NAACP Awards, and I was a little disappointed. I had to leave because I had a show in Koreatown, and I was like, man, I'm leaving this award show that could be an opportunity for me to go to
Do your
essentially,
profession.
yeah, but a show that probably it was Paper Tiger Bar. It probably had 10 people at it. I was like, man, but this is the life I chose. I'm like, I'm with it, whatever. I was booked, so I pull up there. I get there early. The show started at 8 o'clock. I get there like 7:45. I check my phone, and Kanye had put up a pop up dedicated to his wife. It had very little information on it. But it didn't even have him on it. It just was an address, and it had some Japanese words on it. The address, believe it or not, was right down the street, like 10-minute walk from where I was doing the show. So I was like, would I leave the house to see Kanye West? Probably not. But would I walk 10 minutes down the street?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. What? The time's at 8 o'clock. I get there 10 minutes late. I'm the 50th person in line. About the time I had the conversation with the two people in front of me, I look behind me, there's 100 people behind me. I wait in that line for about 45 minutes. I was like, I gotta go do my show. I told the people in front of me, I was like, hey, can you please hold this down for me? They was like, we got you. I go do my show, couldn't even focus. I'm like, I gotta see this Kanye West thing. I don't even know what it was. Nobody in line knew what it was. I get back, people gone. I'm like, dang. I was like, and by this time it's like 300 people in line. I'm like, I'm not waiting in line. I had got the number. People, I was like, yo, I said, I see y'all in. It's all good. Mother dip. They hit me. They was like, hey man, just say your name at the door. I get to the security throwing people like, boo, boo, like, get out the way, get out the way. There's a big like Hummer tank vehicle in the way, blocking the gate. I was like, man, this is serious, man. Get out the way, get out the way. He's like, just say your name. I'm like, my name? Like, bro, y'all just met me. Y'all ain't know my first name. Like, just say your name. I got there. I was like, I'm Jeremy. This dude in his hat was like, you Jeremy? I was like, yeah. He was like, let him through. They start throwing people out the way from me. Let him through, let him through. Yeah, Jeremy, let him through. Hey. I get in there. I was like, I meet up with the dudes immediately. I was like, yo, thank you for that, bro. That was crazy. Thank you. Right? They was like, did you meet him? I was like, me who? They was like, yay. I said, what you mean? I just came straight there. They was like, you walked past him. I was like, I did? Yo. I was like, I ain't doing nothing else till I meet this dude, right? I go, and I'm walking around, but I was like, oh, that's him. Man, he had the grills in, and he had a shiny swastika on his shirt. You couldn't see nothing else in the place, man. It's like all blacked out. But I just saw that swastika. I was like, oh, that's him. So I go talk to him. I was like, yo, man, hey, I was like, I don't even know what to say. I was like, yo, big fan. I can't wait to see what this is. Right? There wasn't nobody even around him. just me. It was his assistant, a couple other people. He was like, yeah, nah. And he got his grills in, so he sounded like like a football player, like or a boxer. Like, yeah, no, thank you for coming to my event. Can't wait to see can't wait for you to see the thing, whatever. And I was like, yeah, I'm a comedian. And he's like, you a comedian? I was like, yeah. He was like, hey man. He said, well, you better be funnier than that nigga Dave Chappelle. He said that dude. He said that man is garbage. Like, hey, I ain't got nothing to do with that. But I invited him to my show. I was like, yo, I love you to come to my show. He was like, oh man, I love to come, and connected me with his assistant. So we kept it brief because I ain't gonna lie, I was actually impressed with how much attention he gave me. So I just knew to get out of there before
before it went left.
Yeah, and also like literally it was like 300 people there. So I was like, yo, it was great. Anyway, I'll tell about the actual event on another podcast. But I would say in that meeting, what I was able to deduce is that he is speaking his mind and he's rich enough to do it. I'm not going to sit here and defend Kanye West. I do feel like he has mental issues. I feel like he is bipolar. But I feel like we all have jobs. We all have people. We all have customers. We all have people we have to submit to in some way, shape, or form. And if you didn't have to, you would probably tell them the truth. And that's what I feel like we're witnessing with this man. Because the way he expressed it, he said, I'm just speaking my mind. And that's impressive. That's why I'm in that.
Well,
because he is speaking his mind.
Well, I'll say this, man. I had 2 interactions with him. The first one, we was arguing with each other, and I really had to stop myself. And dude, on my mother that is no longer with us, I stopped myself and I had to say, I said, why are you arguing with this dude? And this is before, this was Kanye West. This was not Ye. This was not.
Yeah.
He was very passionate and committed about telling me that I was lying to my homeboy because my homeboy is his homeboy. And I was like, dude, I don't gotta lie to him, and I don't have to lie to you. And anyway, with that being said, man, it's been a dope episode.
hey, we gotta go deeper into this. And also, shout out Ben Frank. Man, you deserve your own episode.
Yeah. Now we're gonna get him. What you got coming up, Jeremy?
This weekend I will be in Washington D.C. I'll be performing at the D.C. Improv. Actually, shout out. I got the, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I'll be there April 4th through 6th. And if you are in DC and you catch us, please check us out. I got more dates coming soon, a lot of LA dates. But yeah, also, well, if you listen to this live tomorrow, I'll be in Long Beach. You're welcome to come. By the way, Long Beach.
Of course.
You already know. Laugh at that's our spot. So yeah,
we'll throw back some grown man.
Let's do it. Absolutely. Other than that, that's it. Jeremy Comedy.
No. Well, this has been another episode of Splendid.